A pirate ship could be carrying more than 7,000 gallons of water and still be dying of thirst. That sounds impossible. A wooden ship surrounded by an endless ocean with barrels stacked below deck, and yet every man aboard could be counting the hours until his tongue split, his lips cracked, and his mind began to betray him. Because when pirates ran out of water, they did not simply drink rum. They did not just scoop up seawater. And they did not calmly sail to the nearest island. They entered one of the most terrifying systems in life at sea. A system of rationing, rain catching, barrel guarding, punishment, desperation, and violence. So when the last clean cask went sour, one question decided whether the crew survived. Who controlled the water? And how long before thirsty men became more dangerous than the sea itself?
Imagine a pirate ship drifting under a white sky. No wind, no waves. Just heat. The sails hang dead from the yards like old cloth. The deck is so hot it burns through bare feet. Below deck, the air is worse. It is dark, wet, rotten. The ship smells of sweat, bilge water, spoiled food, and men who have not washed in weeks. Somewhere in the hold, a barrel is opened. Everyone nearby goes quiet. The cooper leans in. The quartermaster watches. A sailor holds a cup, but no one lets him fill it yet. Because this is not just water. This is the future. The lid comes loose. A sour smell rises. Not clean, not fresh. The water has turned. It has been sitting in a wooden cask for months. It has absorbed the taste of oak, mold, and slime. Something floats on the surface. But the pirate holding the cup still wants it, because thirst changes what a man can accept. At first, old water is disgusting. Then, it is necessary. Then, it is treasure.
Most people imagine pirates drinking rum all day because they wanted to. But rum did not replace water. Rum could make bad water safer to swallow. It could hide the taste. It could make men obey for a little longer. But rum could not hydrate a crew. Strong liquor dried the mouth. It clouded judgment. It made fights easier. And on a ship where every rope, sail, cannon, and blade required balance and discipline, drunken thirst was a kind of madness. So pirates did not survive by drinking themselves numb. They survived by managing every drop. And that management began long before the barrels were empty.
Before a pirate ship left port, water was cargo. Heavy cargo. A single gallon weighed about 8 pounds. Not for comfort, for survival. Men needed water to drink. The cook needed water to boil meat. The crew needed water to soften biscuit. Animals needed water. Wounds needed washing. Every cask below deck was a promise. But every cask was also a problem. Water took space. Water added weight. And pirates loved speed. So the crew faced a cruel choice. Carry more water and sail heavier. Carry less water and risk death. That was the first secret. Running out of water was not an accident. It was a gamble made at the start. A pirate captain who overloaded the hold might lose the prize. captain who carried too little might lose the crew.
A ship's cooper was a guardian of survival. If a cask leaked, the sea had stolen from the crew. One morning, men could open the hold and find that a barrel they trusted was half empty. That kind of loss could turn a crew silent because they knew what it meant. The ration system came next. When water was plentiful, men drank normally. Then the count changed. The quartermaster checked the stores. The lookout saw no land. The wind failed. And suddenly water stopped being something men used. It became something men received. A ration. Measured. Watched. Defended. Pause. Pirate ships were strange this way. When supplies ran low, the men could decide together to cut portions. Imagine what that meeting felt like. The crew gathered under the sun, mouths dry. The captain wants to keep hunting. The quartermaster says the water will last 6 days, maybe 8 if cut. Then the choice comes. Full rations and risk death. Half rations and endure misery. Every man knows a smaller cup today might keep him alive tomorrow, but it also means tonight his throat will burn.
Once rationing began, water had rules. No private drinking, no filling cups without permission, and especially no stealing. A stolen biscuit might leave a man hungry. A stolen drink might leave him dead. Gold was useless if there was no water to carry it home. That is why thirsty crews became unstable so quickly. The mind does not handle thirst well. First, the mouth dries, then the lips crack, then the head pounds. Salt meat becomes torture. Hard biscuit becomes dust. Even breathing hot air feels like swallowing sand. Men stop joking. They stop singing. They stop gambling. They move less. They stare more. Thirst makes men watch each other's cups, and every sound becomes suspicious. A barrel lid creaking, a footstep near the hold, a splash in the dark. He wonders if men are stealing. He wonders if the captain has a private cask. And once that thought enters a crew, trust begins to rot. Rain was salvation. The moment clouds gathered, the crew moved. Canvas was spread. Barrels were opened. Men held cups up. They opened their mouths. They laughed like children. Rain could feel like rescue, but rain was unreliable. It was not a plan. It was a mercy. So they searched for land, a green smudge on the horizon. But finding water ashore was dangerous. A landing party had to go armed. They moved fast, because land could be a trap. Spanish patrols, disease in the swamp, mosquitoes thick enough to make men bleed. And even if no enemy appeared, the island itself might lie. A stream could be brackish. A pool could be stagnant. When they found a good source, the ship became a machine. Fill the casks, roll them to the boats. Men already weakened by thirst had to drag survival back one barrel at a time. And nobody could relax until the ship was away.
That brings us to the most desperate temptation, the ocean itself. A man dying of thirst could look at the sea and feel mocked. Water in every direction. Untouchable. Seawater could not be drunk safely. The salt
cold water from the body. Drink enough and thirst became worse. The mind blurred. A man could become violent. Men who drank from the sea did not recover. They raved. They collapsed. There were rare tricks. Distilling water, heating seawater and collecting the steam. In practice, this was slow, difficult, and fuel-hungry. You could not turn the ocean into drinking water for 100 men. Not day after day. So barrels came from rain, land, or robbery. And robbery was often the fastest.
To a thirsty crew, a barrel of clean water was not cargo. It was life captured at sword point. Imagine being a merchant sailor when pirates flood over the rail. You expect them to ask for gold. Instead, one grabs you by the shirt and demands, "Where is the water?" They are not just thieves now. They are desperate men with dry mouths. That makes them more dangerous. A crew with enough water might negotiate. A crew dying of thirst might not have patience. Water could decide mercy. That is how serious it became. A pirate captain who found water survived politically. A captain who failed became weak. Mutiny rarely begins with a shout. It begins with whispers, with the quartermaster becoming more important than the commander.
Punishment had to be harsh. A man caught stealing water might be flogged or marooned. Marooning was terror made physical. To leave a man on an island with little water was to turn thirst into execution. It told the crew, steal from the barrel, and you are stealing from every man's blood. As water shrank, the ship changed. Clothes stiffened with salt, tongues swelled, breath turned sour. A thirsty ship was losing its ability to function. Gunners needed strength, helmsmen needed attention, but thirst blurred everything. This is where rum enters. It masked the taste of foul casks, but it was dangerous. Imagine men half mad from heat, suddenly given too much liquor. Old grudges rise, knives come out. This was not chaos. It was discipline, wearing a dirty shirt. The ocean punished disorganization. A crew that wasted water died. Pirates were faster than bureaucracy, but they were more exposed. Every chase was a bet paid in thirst. The map of piracy was also a map of thirst. So what did pirates do when they ran out? They counted. They rationed. They searched the sky. They searched the land. They raided. And if everything failed, they faced the final choices. Turn back, mutiny, surrender, or die. Pirates did not survive because they were wild. They survived because water was treated like command itself. Without it, the whole pirate world shrank to the size of a cup. So imagine yourself there. Your ration has been cut again. The cup in your hand is warm. It smells wrong. Across the deck, another man drinks too slowly, and you hate him for it. Above you, the sails hang dead. Below you, the last cask sounds almost hollow. Then the lookout shouts, "A sail, far away." What would you vote for? Turn toward danger for a chance to drink, or wait for rain that may never come? And if you think thirst was bad, Wait until you hear what happened when disease broke out on a pirate ship. With no doctor